Hello, everyone, particularly my fellow Canadians. As many of you know, we lost one of our greatest citizens very recently, Mr. Rex Murphy, who everyone knew, I would say, perhaps as Canada's most outstanding journalist. I had the great privilege of traveling to Newfoundland with Rex, and we filmed a documentary about that great province and its history, and we're very pleased to be able to bring you that documentary as a tribute to Rex in the aftermath of his passing. So I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I did making it, although I can't see how that's possible because I really enjoyed making it. I'm really going to miss him, and he was a great man. The past is still truly alive. The past becomes increasingly valuable. To come somewhere here and see these deep roots and this deep particularity, there's a relief in it that's akin to the relief of looking at a great landscape vista. It's literally and metaphorically revivifying.
Action.
Hello, everyone. I have the great privilege and honor to be here in Newfoundland with Mr. Rex Murphy. Rex was a hero of mine, I would say, and of many Canadians. He's one of Canada's great journalists.
We'll have to close or something breaks.
One of the most recognized and loved figures in all the country.
When Newfoundlanders were crawling out of the shock and misery of the cod collapse, Fort McMurray was like a rescue center.
So we're here in Newfoundland, in this great old part of Canada, with a unique culture, born of isolation in many ways. And Rex has kindly agreed to spend a week showing us around and talking to us about the culture.
Newfoundlanders think of Newfoundland as a personality.
Mm-hmm.
Newfoundland has a distinct personal relationship with Newfoundlanders. It goes deep.
Well, one of the things that's really striking about meeting people from Newfoundland is they're often extremely tough and extremely funny. And when I reflected on that, even prior to knowing you, I thought, well, this was a very, very isolated place. And that meant that people made their own music and they made their own fun. And then we're all the beneficiaries of that. And that's part of what we want to shine a light on while being here. We're inviting you along on the trip. We're making this up in the most professional manner we can as we go along. And
Making it up? You just heard it being made up in front of your ears. Go on with your man.
All right. Onward and upward through Newfoundland.
This is St. John's Harbour, and incidentally, it's St. John's Harbour on a sunny day, which is one of 3 since 1497. This is one of the most spectacular views that we've ever had here. Newfoundland is not #1 in the priority consciousness of the rest of the world. And to explain its singularity, you have to explain the communities. Newfoundland is a province of outports, and outport is a key semantic term in the understanding of Newfoundland. The outports were where the culture started, the outports were where the fishery was. We're also standing on Signal Hill, and Signal Hill happened to be the site of the first wireless communication between the continent of Europe and the continent of North America. And when the airplane industry finally got really going in the 30s, Gander was also a communications point. All the airlines of the world had to stop somewhere before, if they left Europe or Asia, Gander was the spot. So in many ways, Newfoundland is at the kind of transaction point, either between modernity, even though we're probably the oldest and in a sense most conservative society in North America, nonetheless had pioneer moments that were in contrast. But it
associated deeply with communication.
Yeah,
and
always.
That's interestingly associated too with the fact that Newfoundlanders as a culture are masters of word and wit.
I remember being down on a wharf in Newfoundland, and it was, by the way, it was a day like this, and I looked over, this is a beautiful, beautiful day. And 3 or 4 fishermen were next to me. Oh yeah, we're going to pay for this. They're not going to accept good fortune. There's always going to be a tax of pain or humiliation that follows.
All right, and where are we off to next?
I think we'll go down to the southern shore.
All right.
We may never return.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
I'm here in the Newfoundland town of Bay Bowls, speaking with Captain Joe O'Brien, and I was just out for 2 hours on Captain Joe's boat. So why don't we start with a story about how this enterprise came to be, I would say.
So myself and my brother were fishermen with our father. We saw the fishing wasn't looking so good, and we were spending more money on bait and hooks and fuel than we were in having value for our fish, for our catch. We started helping the university do a little bit of research on seabirds, and they said you should start taking people to see seabirds, and we took some people out and we charged them some money, and then it just snowballed from that.
Huh. The people that you hire and work with, they seem pretty damn happy to be working for you. So what are you doing right, do you think?
Handling people is a very serious business today. Accountability and human resources is a very difficult thing. So if you're an owner and you're sitting there and you're nitpicking and people are telling you this and that and they're getting on with silly talk, you become bogged down.
Right, right.
So
if you give people autonomy, you have freedom.
You have freedom to do what you do well,
Yeah.
and that's to take care of people.
Great to meet you, man. Thanks
All the
again.
best.
That was a great day.